What is up, GOAT World? It is me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you again with another GOAT format video. We have just concluded the 69th PWCQ. It is the first event of the 2025 season, and man, oh man, what a way to start it off. First, I gotta say huge congratulations to the winner, and a big thank you to the staff who stepped up and made this one of the most efficient, smooth tournaments. As always, this thing is up on the channel. Make sure you go back and check that VOD out. There were some highlights, some key moments, and some good things, and some really cool decks. And I'm not just saying that, but today I have the top 8 deck lists for you guys, and I want to bring those to you now. But make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe as we're on our way to 12,000 subscribers. And here we go, starting us off at number 8. We got the world topping Kitsco back at it again with another PWCQ performance topping performance, coming in at the top 8. This was a Swiss into a top 8 event. We had 58 duelists showed up, so it was a pretty nice size event. A lot of duels out there ready to get it in for the next season. Kit showing up playing this Warrior Thunderclap pile deck Stein situation, doing his thing. I love to see it. Cyberstein might have to be a part of the thumbnail or something, because this card was the tail of the tournament. People really starting to experiment with Cyberstein and had some great effects. So basically, it looks like you have a Warrior core featuring a Zaborg with Cyberstein splashed in, so you can have some over-the-top stuff with Solemn Judgment. Stein and Solemn Judgment, you know how I feel about that. I don't know if they always going to mix, but it worked out great for Kitsco. It made it all the way to a top 8 performance. But then you go into the side deck, it looks like you have a full conversion situation. You can go into more of a GOAT deck with creature swaps. You got the Royal Decrees coming in to change up your whole trap lineup. So you go into more of a Mataza OTK. You got that singular last will in there, so you can get kind of crazy with the Cyberstein last will situation just going on. I think it's a pretty cool idea. I really like what's going on here. This looks like something that Pablo Zone had been doing and been practicing with, but you kind of made it your own. And I think this is a cool deck. This could be kind of a step in where the meta could be going after the GOAT Format World Championship, but I really like to see what's happening here from Kitsco. Okay, moving on to our next deck in the top 8. In the top 8, we have SDL Killer. The Warrior King is back at it again with another top 8 performance. He did not quite make it through the threshold to the GOAT Format World Championship last year, but he's back on the scene. He says he's going to grind a little bit more, and this year he's probably going to make it to the GOAT Format World Championship as well, playing, of course, the patent pending Warrior strategy. I thought this duelist put this deck away, but he decided to dust it off for the first PWCQ of the season, and he's doing it in typical SEO fashion. If you'll notice, there is no Don Zalug in the entire deck. The duelist is leaning heavy on Clifford, the trap remover, along with Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke and double Kaiku to go, or triple Kaiku to Ghost Story and double Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke. Trap lineup looks pretty standard. You got the one of Jar Greet, the one of Zing Zin Hu, and the one of Book of Moon that I didn't sort. That's on me. I'm gonna eat that. But the Book of Moon down there in the trap lineup. You have a second copy of Clifford, the trap remover, in the side deck. The triple spy, double Mobius. I know this is patent pending. This duelist kind of started doing that combination coming in post side, still leaning heavy on it here in 2024. Love to see it. Also, you have the triple copy of Royal Decree. This is something that this duelist has been doing specifically in the Warrior strategy as a nice change up. Maybe you really just don't want to lose to burn any of those trap heavy decks. Just bringing in the Royal Decrees yourself. In that way, you don't have to worry about it. Your opponent will literally never see it coming. A lot of times the turbo players, they're bringing in Sakuretsu armors, they're bringing in heavy battle traps. Well, guess what? You shift into Royal Decree, you can kind of shut all that stuff down along with your Cliff the Trap moves to just break them up. I think it's not bad. I don't think it's a bad tech, but the turbo players are adjusting too. They are starting to bring in more scapegoat meta stuff, so maybe the Royal Decrees aren't as good as they used to be, but I still think it's not the worst thing in the universe. I mean, I don't know how you're going to get the traps to line up correctly to where you're having enough effects with your Royal Decrees. Maybe you're taking more traps out, bringing more mons in, but it could be something that SCL is doing. And it was good enough to get a top 8 performance in this event. Huge shout out to you, SDL. Keep rocking and rolling. All right, moving on. Next top 8 deck list, we're going to talk about another spicy variety. The spice of life is in. As I just mentioned, another deck featuring Cyberstein is going to make it into the top 8 deck list. This deck is not featuring the Black Luster Soldier. This is a deck from PSYT. PS is coming on in there with this cool, we're going to call this another Stein Last Will deck. Last Will is another card that a lot of duelists have been experimenting with. They think that it's a card that has some latent potential. I think the card is very strong if utilized correctly. This deck is super interesting. I'm trying to figure out the best way to play it. I'm looking at it. There are some choices that I don't know if I could possibly feel comfortable with making, but from what I understand, this duelist is a certified mathematician, and they've ran the numbers and they've done the simulations, and they realized that this is probably a good way to play a strategy like this. So Last Will, you got a lot of Last Will targets. You can Last Will bring out the Cannon Soldier. Last Will bring out the Amazoness Archer. Last Will bring out the Injection Fairy Lily, of course. You can then bring out the Cyberstein as well. You got the freaking Deck Devastation Virus in here. Now that's an interesting card. I don't know. Can you even trigger this? You can only really trigger it with this Zumbira the Dark from the main deck, and maybe anything you can bring out with Cyberstein, or maybe something you can bring out with the Metamorphosis. Maybe you can Brain Con, Econ, take their Dark Monster, bring it out. That's an interesting card. If you can get it to go off, it could have great effects. Having that in the main deck is very, very peculiar and interesting indeed. But you were absolutely cooking with this deck. The Bizer Shock Metamorphosis, I think that's a really cool sleeper idea that kind of has some legs to it. So the Jar monsters, the Cyber Jar, Morphin Jar together, I think those just open up a lot of different plays, just really open the game up. The one of level limit area B in the main deck, I think is interesting too. You got triple giant Trinade. I think put the level limit down, stall, accumulate a lot of cards to the field, and then you can set up these really vicious Last Will OTK style plays. Jinzo having great effects all day as well. I think this deck is interesting. I'm still trying to figure it out. I got to look at the replays a little bit more to see it in action, but I can kind of see where they're trying to take us with this one, because you can Cannon Soldier, pop that, Last Will can trigger, you can get the goats out, pop all the stuff with Cannon Soldier, do a ton of damage there, pop itself, get some body out, I don't know, injection maybe can come down. I don't know. I'll have to see a little bit more. I'm not completely sold on the idea, but clearly it has worked out, and you were able to chalk up enough dubs to get to a top 8 performance. In the side deck, you got, it looks like you can shift into some burn, anti-burn stuff. You got triple barrel behind the door, triple secret barrel, just barreled up in the side deck, huh? A lot of barrels. You got the one big shield garnet in there, and also the 2 goblin attack force, maybe going against warriors and stuff. So this seems very out of the box. It seemed like something that's very custom, tailor-made to this specific duelist strategy. So if you're just coming into Go format, or you're just trying something new, maybe you can give this a shot, but I wouldn't take it straight to the bank, because it seemed like you got to really know how this thing flows before you can put it together, because I'm not seeing all the lines of play, if I'm being completely honest. But maybe we can get PSYT to come and talk about it, or maybe they can put some more stuff in the Discord so we can have a little bit more information, or watch the replays, as they're all available in the GoFormat.com Discord. But huge shout out to PSYT. Keep rocking and rolling and keep going, and maybe you can go ahead and get an invitation with this cool deck. Keep rolling with it, man. I love seeing this. I like watching you on the stream. I like seeing you play, and hopefully this thing can continue on having some great effects. But thank you for doing it. The next top 8 deck list we have Don't Copy. So we go from the Spice Factory, the Steez Machine, the Steez Factory, and we go right on back into the bread and butter Chaos Turbo. Absolutely nothing to write home about in the slightest. Just the most regular, the most standard Chaos Turbo deck imaginable. I mean, super consistent deck. What else can you say about it? Don't Copy almost got another early invite, back-to-back seasons, but just got supplanted in the top 8. It's going to be like that a portion of the time. Let's see anything special that jumps off. You back on Card Destruction main deck. You have the one Book of Moon in the main deck. I mean, it's super bread and butter, super standard. Block and tackle all day. But I like me some Don't Copy. And he obviously is one of the best, and he's going to continue to do that as you chalked up another top 8 performance. All these duelists will receive points for the PWCQ topping close finishes list. So they will have points, and maybe if you keep making these top 8s, you'll have enough points to get an invite that way without actually winning the tournament. But still, standard Chaos Turbo deck. Love to see it. Okay, moving on. We got another deck, another cool deck. We got Return from the Different Dimension is back at it again with another Go Format dueling top. This is for top 4, first deck in the top 4. We have HNVB playing this return strategy with only one copy of Return from the Different Dimension. I think that's super peculiar and interesting as well. I think that's a card you got to play at least 2. Playing it at 1, it might not hit the way you want it to, just at 1. And when your opponent sees the 1, they're going to be, I don't know, maybe if they realize that you're just playing that 1, you'll give them that breath, that sigh of relief if that information ever gets out. So I would always like to keep 2 just in case 1, because 1 is either going to get discarded early, or 1's going to get destroyed early, got, MST or something's going to happen to the 1. but that second one is going to be the one that seals the deal. So I don't know what you could cut to make room for that second one, but I definitely would like to get a second return for the different dimension there. But still, having that one is going to be enough. You got the Zaborgs in there, you have the Shining Angels in there, and you got the bevy of flips with the Chaos variety. It's a cool deck, solid deck. Very rigid and robust deck. I think it's cool. I think more people should experiment with this as well. I like how people are starting to open up and starting to experiment with that last will Cyberstein stuff. I think that has format warping potential. I really do believe that. This is another deck I think has format defining, format warping potential. It just needs to be built upon, and more people need to try it out. That's the only way it's going to work. So I like to see that HNVB is trying it and getting some results with it, making it to all the way up to top 4, and could have potentially gone on. Okay, huge congratulations to you, and shout out to you, and continue to rock on. Side deck seems pretty regular. Got a lot of stuff covering a lot of your matchups. Really nothing too crazy jumping off the page on the side deck. Mobius is back, Zambara's back, Smash is back, Triple Saku, and the Zinger is in there. Shout out to HMVB. Keep rocking. We're going to see. Next month, there's another PWCQ. Maybe you can go ahead and get the dub in that one. Okay, moving on. We got another standard bearer. We got top 4. We got Ghost Rider back at it again with another top performance. Almost getting to the dub as well, playing Chaos Turbo. Not as standard, not as regular, just the one of Night Assailant is going to be in the main deck along with the one of Tsukiyomi. You're going to triple faith though with the Book of Moon. A lot of these turbo players seeing the success Anthony Alvarado had with that Book of Moon, choosing to adopt the Book of Moon strategy back into Chaos Turbo. I don't hate to see that at all. You're going to go with triple Jar of Greed, triple Regeki Break, one Solemn in the main deck. You've completely removed Trap Dust Shoot from the entire operation. There's no Trap Dust Shoot at all. Not main deck, not side deck. Just said, you know what, get it all the way up out of my life. I don't need it. I'm good enough to play without it, and I don't hate that. I think it's pretty cool that you did that. You got triple Regeki Break now, and I think that's a pretty solid. It looks clean too. 10 and 10 and 20. I think it looks nice. Visually, I like looking at the 10, 10, 20 going up. In the side deck, you shift over. You're back to your Ghost Rider-esque aggressive situation in the side. You got triple Mind Con can come in. You got the one of Blade Knight can come in. The bottomless trap holes and the Sakuretsu armors and more Solemn Judgment. So you can kind of shift to almost like an aggro approach coming in post side based on what matchup you're going to be faced up against. And I think that's a good way to approach it. And your main deck seems super rigid that can go up against basically anything. So I think it's a solid turbo deck. Ghost Rider obviously one of the best we got doing it, and this is a trendsetter. So if you see what Ghost Rider's doing, maybe you can kind of implement that stuff, add it to your turbo game if you are into that kind of thing. But shout out to Ghost Rider, keep rocking. Obviously Ghost Rider's probably going to get invited at some point, but I like to see them play, and they're very consistent with it, winning Friday and then coming back in on Saturday and making a top performance. Very, very cool. That's a lot of rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh! All right, moving on to second place. So this is second place. This is the Easy to Slay You, also playing Chaos Turbo. Pretty standard in the main deck. Card Destruction is back. So that's another card destruction. You got two duelists on card destruction. I believe one duelist was not on the turbo deck with the card destruction. So I don't know. You guys decide. Maybe it's still just a sense of feel kind of thing. Card destruction in the main deck with triple Jar of Greed in the main deck, double Upstart Goblin, triple Regeki Break. I'm seeing a lot of triple Regeki Break, triple Jar of Greed for the turbo. Is that the future? Probably. I don't know. Jar of Greed is a super good card. Having 3 of them, Regeki Break, super good card. Having 3 of them, why not? I think it's just a nice, versatile, chainable card. Just do it. And there's no Trap Dust Shoots here either. I don't know if the time of Trap Dust Shoot is passing. People are playing around that card so effectively. If you can't literally get it on turn 1, it's looking worse and worse and worse. I still think the card is super insanely format broken, needs to get banned, but maybe people are finding a way to adapt, and then it's not as effective as it once was. In the side deck, you got a full conversion side. I like this a lot, actually. Full conversion side. You've completely committed to converting into a Decree Chaos Control deck. So you got the 2 Tsukiyomi, you have the 3 Metamorphosis, 3 Scapegoats, double creature swap, freaking Royal Decrees coming in. So people might think that you're doing all the normal side deck patterns, and you just got a complete switch deck situation, and it's a subtle switch, so you're not really noticing all that. You might not know that they have the full, how much scapegoats they have or how many metas they got. They're going full on conversion side, it seems, depending on the matchup, of course. And Royal Decree is another card that I think has some room. A lot of people are just getting crazy with these trap cards, and these burn players are coming back. Having Royal Decree, why not? It's not there are worse cards than Royal Decree. No walks, no anything like that. So I love to see it coming in from Easy to Slay You. But man, oh man, when I tell you that no one was cheering for this duel, nice. This duelist is nice. They did nothing wrong. They're probably going to make it to the Go Format World Championship this year. But when I tell you nobody wanted this duelist to win, to include myself, I was extremely biased on this one because the person who won this tournament, are you guys ready? Brace yourself. Brace for impact. The duelist that won PWCQ number 69, getting 69 with it, is Angel Valentinov. Shout out to Angel Valentinov playing this, dude. Oh my goodness, this is 2024. This is 25 years of GOAT format, and here we are with Cyberstein Horus, Last Will, Gillosaurus, Cold Wave, the deck, dude. It's there. This has happened. This absolutely happened live. Go check this tournament out. This duelist was absolutely going crazy with this deck too. Absolutely going insano mode with this deck, and it was just doing some crazy stuff. And I think the way that they were playing it, they were being very aggressive with it. I'm talking turn one, they'll slam the Stein, slam the Horus, bring it out turn one, attack through back row, and it just would work out sometimes. And Horus would hit the field, man, and it was shutting people down. Horus, the Black Flame Dragon, level 8, has won the PWCQ number 69. But let's look at the deck a little bit more. So doing a quick little card by card, we see we got triple Cyberstein in there, triple Last Will, Gillosaurus, and you have some ways to convert. So it looks like you just want to get the Gillosaurus down, maybe special summon Gillosaurus, force your opponent to bring something back for your Horus to hit into, is actually quite cool. I missed that one. I think that's a line that a lot of people might have overlooked, because when you special summon that Gillosaurus, 95% of the time, your opponent is going to bring something back, just for values wise. And then you tribute the thing that you tribute the Gillosaurus, bring out the damn Horus, attack over the thing that they brought back, and now you got Horus level 8 coming down. You got Cyberstein, and then you can hit a Last Will in there, bring Cyberstein out, bring out the King Dragoon, and now you have protection. So the field, it was usually the Cyberstein in defense position because of Last Will, the King Dragoon, and then the Horus Black Flame Dragon level 8. And then if you get that Decree set up, like, they're so cooked. It's tribe or bust, like, immediately. And the game is just so faster than you got to have the tribe in your hand almost instantly, or it's just going to be game over. And then when that doesn't work, they can go into the Last Will stuff, go into the Injection Pharaoh Lily, go into Rats if you want to, bring out, the GK Spine, just to chip for more damage, and then you just Cold Wave, and just, it was absolutely working like poetry in motion. I thought the deck was really nice. I love looking at these cards. I think Horus is a very iconic card, and seeing that thing getting the opportunity to not only showcase its power or whatever, showcase its ability, but also being in first place, like actually winning the entire tournament to prove that, hey, this is not a flash in the pan. Like, you can actually, if you have the ability to craft in this format, in GOAT format, yeah, it's solved. Yeah, we got a lot of turbo. Yeah, we got a lot of Trinity. And yeah, it's going to require some luck. But if you have the ability to craft and you understand how your deck is supposed to work and you get a good bracket, you can win with a deck like this. Like, mathematically, I don't know, it still can happen, and it was proven in this tournament today. So we also looking in the main deck, there's zero defense. You got no defense at all. Triple Trap Dust Shoot and double Mind Crush are going to be in the main deck with Royal Decree. I would like to know the story behind that, the Trap Dust Shoot and the Mind Crush. Maybe it's a good way to get that tribe infecting virus, because if you can complete that lock and get the lock set up, and you know what your opponent has in their hand, it might help you, negotiate protect your Horus and protect your board and not die as quick. So maybe that's part of the plan. Get the Trap Death Shoot down, find the Tribe Infected Virus, get it back into the deck, or get it Mind Crush into the graveyard, and then vibrate spectacularly from there. So it might be a little bit glass cannon. It might be a little bit soft, light in the pants, but this thing was hitting like a tank, dude. It was knocking people all the way up out of there. In the side deck, we got triple Berserk, triple Zumbira, Cyber Jar, some token Thanksgivings, which I think is actually quite good in this deck for all the token-based strategy that could be coming your way, and also keep your Cyberstein online. And you do have a bevy of trap cards for the aggressive decks that you might encounter. Again, I really love this deck. I like everything about it. I thought it was super, super solid. And this is the second installment of a deck like this that this duelist has been experimenting with. So maybe I can get Angel Valentinov to come by the program, talk about this deck. Maybe we can go over a replay or two, or maybe hop onto the ladder or something and play. I'll extend that invitation out to them, but I'm really, really a big fan of what I'm seeing here. And I think When things like this do happen in GOAT format, as rare as they may be in the current installment of GOAT format, I think I think it's always something that should be celebrated. I think it's a good thing because it just shows that people can have some steez, people can have some style, have a little bit of creativity, and make some noise in this format. You know, it's 25 years old, which is insane. So, or excuse me, it's 25-year-old game, 20-year-old format. But that's what I wanted to say. So tell me what you guys think about these deck lists. Tell me what you guys think about this tournament. It was 58 people in this tournament, and they were some of the greatest players that we have in this game. So it wasn't like some kind of little runoff thing. This was a pretty substantial GOAT format dueling tournament, and this is the deck that came out and got the dub in first place. Horus, Black Flame Dragon, Cyberstein, Turbo, Last Will, Cold Wave, the deck. So make sure you guys get into the comment section, and while you're down there, like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you guys get into the Discord and join the next PWCQs. Well, duelists, that's all I have. As always, I'm JDZ. I play GOATs. Until the next time, shout out to all the real ones. Salute to the OGs. Peace.